if we are creating harmony and balance for ourselves, and then we say that person's wrong because they're not doing it the way I know works for me, then we actually just went into disharmony. We're in judgment, or we're saying ours is the only way. That's not harmonious. It's always just, what is the right thing for me in this moment? That's our harmony and balance. That's how we get to it.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Moira and listeners.
Well, that was a lovely little sing-song in there.
That's what is it? Good evening? No, what is it? Good morning, Vietnam.
Nope.
No, not quite. Now, for those who know that, that's actually a movie. I'm not just saying good morning, Vietnam. I'm saying that to everybody.
It's actually a really awesome movie with Robin Williams in it.
Yeah, it is actually a great one. I encourage people to listen to that. It's a fantastic movie. Awesome. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Good evening, good day,
greetings. Greetings. Here we go again. Welcome to Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Debz being myself and Moira being
me. Sitting over here.
Sitting over there in the summer when we're in winter. Yeah. And today I'm going to introduce our topic very differently. I'm not going to say it's a goodie. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say it's a bloody good one today. It's definitely it's a bloody good one. And we're talking about creating harmony and balance, which with what's going on around us and our energy levels, I think this would be very beneficial to everybody. Hence, Absolutely. That's why we're doing it. Absolutely. But first, we're going to rate ourselves. And for those who have been listening to us before or don't, I'm going to just explain to you. So 0 is at a Zen point, neutral, balanced, standing in your comfort, feeling at ease with everything around you. Everything is 0. And 10 is, I was going to say rocking in the corner. It's probably not the best word to describe it. 10 is when you're in an absolute chaotic state, mentally, could be physically, just when you're completely drained and drowned and feel like there's no way out would be a 10.
Yeah, feeling really, really stressed out and not sure what on earth to do to get out of it.
Yeah, perfect. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I'd love everybody to rate themselves at the start of this podcast, and then we're going to do it again at the end. And I trust that there's going to be a shift in your numbers, more working towards 0 than back towards 10. So Moira, where would you be on your scale of 0 to 10?
And that's why you like introducing this, because you like to make me go first with my number.
Yes. Well, actually, I know what number I am already. Shall I go first then?
No, it's okay. I'm good. I'm just teasing you. I'm actually going to put myself at a 4 today, which is kind of unlike me. I know. Deborah's like, what the hell?
No, I'm just thinking I'm a 4.
Oh, no way. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I was like,
hilarious.
and I was going to show, because we record these, not just audio, but we actually do video as well. So I was going to go 4 in front of you so you know where I'm at, and then thought, she doesn't need to know where you're at. She's going to hear soon. So when you said 4, I'm like, man,
What?
come on, are we really that in tune?
I guess we are.
No,
I guess we are.
A
That's
4, so
awesome.
what does a 4 mean to you?
So, well, as I was feeling into me, I'm feeling a bit tired. I've had quite an, I was going to say challenging. I've had a bit of an emotional weekend. This is the start of the week. And so there's still a little residue of stuff that I've gone through. And so I'm feeling, so to me, 4 is saying there's some self-care, there's some TLC that I need to bring more of this harmony and balance, which I'm sure I will after our conversation. But that's what it means. It's just, there's nothing specific. It's just feeling like I do need some attention on me. I need to care for some thought processes, some emotions, things like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what does
Yeah, it
4
does.
mean?
And
What does it mean for you?
yeah, 4 means I feel like I'm pedaling, like the mouse on the circus wheel.
Oh,
I feel
the
like
hamster in the wheel. Yes.
hamster in the wheel. Yeah, the mouse
Yes.
in the circus wheel. Yeah, the hamster wheel. I feel like I'm pedaling, and I'm pedaling, and I'm just not quite getting to where I want to go.
Yeah.
My head's there. My head, I can see the end result, but it's just pedaling and pedaling and pedaling.
Right.
And interesting, when we got on this call, Moira and I have talked for an hour and a half nearly about life prior to this.
Yes,
and
we
she's
fix all the problems of the world before we hit record.
Definitely. And she's helped me with a lot of things this morning. So I perceived before we spoke, I would have been probably a 7, a 6.5 to a 7. And interesting, it was when we went to start this call, I thought, I haven't asked Moira how she is. I thought, not once did I actually say to you, how are you going? Which is interesting. And then you just said that you're a 4, and I was like, see, just speak up and say, how are you going? So today is going to be a perfect creating harmony and balance, because we're both at a 4, and I don't believe we've ever been at a 4.
I don't think so either.
I don't think we have either. So well, there's no pressure on us. But I will say, before this call, I was probably a 6 or 7, 6.5, 7. I was pretty on the hamster wheel, pedaling hard, even harder.
Round and round.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. So please let us know where you're at. And if you're daring enough, jumping onto our Facebook page and write it at the start of the call and then at the end of the call.
And then share what your number was at the end. Absolutely. So now we want to unpack what the idea of harmony and balance is.
Yeah, creating harmony and balance. Go, Moira, go. What is actually harmony? What is harmony to you?
So, and I was just about to say that. So the words harmony and balance, I believe, are very individual, because for me to feel harmonious, it means I'm feeling good physically. So I've my body's moving well. I'm feeling well fed. I'm feeling nurtured. I'm feeling calm. I'm feeling like I've got enough energy. I've attended to my different parts of what I need as a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual being. So harmony means all 4 of those. And I actually talk about this to some of my clients. That's the 4 bodies that we have to get into alignment. And so my physical care is going to be different to what you need to do to feel good physically. My emotional care is going to be different. My mental care is going to be different. And my spiritual care is going to be different, because I have my own background, my own beliefs, my own way of connecting, my own way of interpreting emotions and mindset and thoughts. So harmony to me is moving in I was going to say in concert. That's funny. In concert. creating a symphony of harmonious feeling between all of those aspects of me. And in that, I create balance, because I then get to walk my talk. I get to feel like I'm in this present moment doing what I aspire to do. Does that make sense, Deb?
Yeah. It does. And I love the way you say that your spiritual care could be different to mine or a listener, or your physical care, because we are so different, but yet we're still one. And we do know that the other thing is we do know that what works for you today may not work for you tomorrow.
Right.
And if I use the analogy, today you eat pasta and you feel great, tomorrow you may eat pasta and you feel sick.
Exactly.
Because you haven't slept well, you've had a lot going on in your mind, or whatever. So what worked for you today may not work for you tomorrow. So it's just having that toolbox of amazing essentials that you can pull out, and it's just trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. And
can I just put a wee caveat in there? It doesn't always have to be trial and error. It could be intuition.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So it could be trust yourself, that I trust that on a pasta day, I'm going to have pasta. But then tomorrow, I'm going to trust that my intuition says, no, it's salad. Right?
And there's no right or wrong.
Absolutely.
If you choose pasta or if you choose salad. I don't know how we come to food. But there is no right or wrong that you're choosing pasta or you're choosing salad. It's just the choice. You choose the wisest option that you have right here, right now, which is, yes, your intuition.
Yeah, yes. It's based on what you're feeling in this moment. And Deb, I hope you don't mind, but I want to share with our listeners a story that you shared with me before we got on the recording here. It was about...
Just before or after my tears? Or during? Okay.
No, it was the little example, because here's the thing, is when we know what our harmony and balance is, I think it's really, really important to own that and be nurturing with ourselves about it, but we cannot project it to another person. And I'm thinking about the woman that you told me that said to you that it was unhealthy for you to go until 2 p.m, I think you said, before you ate something.
Oh, yeah.
That is how you feel the healthiest. And I think that's awesome. But this practitioner or person that you were speaking to judged it as so not okay to her. And so she told you were wrong. And to me...
She told me off. She told me off. I was just for the record, I was donating plasma. And she said, you know, and I was left with, well, that's how my body works. Okay.
That's right.
Completely perplexed, not understanding that her mechanism is very different to mine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I just thought that suited our conversation here, because her sense of balance or nurturing her physical body, obviously she feels like she needs to eat earlier in the day. But this is my thing, because if we are creating harmony and balance for ourselves, and then we say that person's wrong because they're not doing it the way I know works for me, then we actually just went into disharmony. Right? Because now we're in judgment, or we're saying ours is the only way. That's not harmonious. Because there are so many versions. You think about, we were talking about food choices. Well, for me, I would never choose pasta, because I don't eat wheat pasta. But I might choose something else. And so it's always just, what is the right thing for me in this moment? That's our harmony and balance. That's how we get to it. And always remember, you're the boss of you.
Yeah, and yes, and I go to the pasta. I actually don't eat pasta because it does bloat me and give me all sorts. It reacts. Put it this way, it reacts with my physical body.
So it does not create harmony.
No, it creates pain, conflict, turmoil, regret, guilt for that short pleasure that's not even pleasure. But for me, when you make that decision, you know there's consequences and things,
Mhm.
but it's not about choosing to go, okay, if I do this, there's going to be a consequence. It's about, I'm going to do this because I think this is the best option for me right now.
Mhm.
And when things come in, then I just am aware of it for next time. And it goes back to that awareness of learning for everything that we do. So this worked for me this time. Next time it may not work for me.
That's right.
And knowing that, and not beating ourselves up, not beating our mind up to go, oh, I can never touch that again. I can never have pasta again because it's going to do this, this, and this. I just
Mhm.
know that if I have pasta, there's certain things I've got to do beforehand,
Right.
or whatever.
Mhm.
But don't beat yourself up if you have that pasta. I don't know how I got to
Exactly,
that, but
because
don't beat yourself up if you get yourself into that turmoil place.
yeah. So here's the key piece, and I think that there's a common thread through this, is that if you mindfully, consciously, in the present moment decided, I'm having the pasta, then have it and enjoy every mouthful of it.
That's it. Enjoy every mouthful. Live life.
Yes. And if that little mindset critic comes up afterwards saying, oh, you shouldn't have done that. That was bad for you. Thought you weren't going to do that again. Well, you actually just made that pasta toxic, right? Mm. Whereas if you really own the fact of, I chose this. So here's an example for me is that I'm actually wheat intolerant. I'm not gluten intolerant, but I'm wheat intolerant. So okay. I avoid wheat. I choose not to eat wheat. But every so often, if I'm in a restaurant and I smell, my father was a baker, so you put fresh baked bread in front of my nose, it's kind of like, oh, I like that smell.
They say that's what you do when you sell your house, is you have fresh bread and coffee in the house. I'm like, yeah, I get that, yeah.
But the point being is that sometimes when they might serve you a bread basket and the smell is so enticing that I will choose to have a roll or bread or whatever. Do you know that I have never had an issue with that? I am very aware that I could not do that every day or every time I went to a restaurant. I'm very aware of that. But on the times where it really catches me and I go, oh, yes, I'm going to do that, then I'm fine.
Do you?
Oh. No, go ahead.
Do you think that is because your mind goes, I'm going to have that, I'm going to enjoy that, and not think of the consequence? Because you've already programmed your brain to go, I'm going to enjoy this and appreciate this, and it's amazing that I have the opportunity and I'm grateful to have this right here, right now. Instead of going, oh my God, if I'm going to eat this, I'm going to have this, this, and this, and I'm going to be sick for 4 days. And because you're changing your mind. Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
No, perfect. Yeah. That's exactly the right way to do it. And that is what I'm doing. Similar point that I've worked with people with food addictions as a hypnotherapist. I've done that a number of times. And I look at people who let's say they're addicted to sugar or chocolate, and they have their mind that that's poison, that's bad for me, I can't do it, it's going to make me fat, it's like blah, 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 right? And then they do it. But they feel guilty because they didn't do that correction like you just said. They didn't stay in the present moment and say, I lovingly decide that I am going to choose to have this in this moment. I'm not going to punish myself or make myself wrong. You can have that pleasure.
Yeah, and it is just as simple as, to create harmony and balance is your mindset. And so it's just replacing those words to nourish your soul, that it's okay to have this, not going, oh my gosh, if I have this, it's going to be bad. And have that guilt, oh gosh, I ate too much today, I need to now starve myself tomorrow and go on a water fast. No, you don't need to do that. You don't have to punish yourself because you've eaten too much sugar the day before. Your body's already punishing you. You don't need to punish yourself and feel bad about it mentally because your body's reacted if you haven't done it, I'm not going to say properly, if you haven't trained your brain to accept it.
And I liked it that you brought that up too, because the other part in all of this is to sometimes we got to call ourselves on those mindset pieces. So to your point about the punishing you, you know, oh my God, I did something terrible. Just take a deep breath. And Deb knows this is my favorite thing. Put your hand over your heart.
It's been used frequently this last week.
But to do that and ask yourself, is that really the truth? Is that the truth right now? And to my example that I just shared with you, if I said, oh my gosh, I'm allergic to wheat, it's going to make me bloat, it's going to give me sores on my face, it's going to make me feel sick. Or can I just say, I'm choosing to have it right now, and I'm going to love it. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it. And you know, every time I've done that, it's been so wonderful.
And my body's going to accept this with pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and it's just training your brain for people to think things what works for you. And we can give you a whole list of words that you can use, but they're not your words, they're our words.
That's right.
So what words work for you being the listener that you can say, you know, if you would like to share them in our Facebook group and let us know. But it is about what works for you. And it's just training that brain, because creating harmony and balance is about walking through life guilt-free and accepting what is. But when I say that, I'm not talking about being ego-driven, that you are guilt-free. I can say things to you and not have, you know, not worry about what's going to come back at me, because that's your reaction.
Yeah,
and I can
no
say,
consequences.
You know, yeah, consequences. So it's not being an a-hole. So creating harmony balance is about walking through life, being aware of people, but being neutral, not reactive, being humble, having a heart, but also to yourself, not just, you know, being kind and gentle to others, but also to yourself, because what we feed ourselves in our mind and our words outside our head are very powerful. Very powerful.
Absolutely. Because the key piece in here is being responsible.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
The other thing that comes up a lot in this idea of the creating harmony and balance is, I think it's really important for everybody to realize that we must be our own best friends, because we will often talk a certain way to other people or treat other people a certain way, you know, with respect or kindness or consideration. And yet when it comes to us, we criticize ourselves. We go, oh my gosh, why did I do that? That was awful. Dreadful.
Yeah, the stuff you say to yourself is cringeworthy. If somebody said it to you or you said it to someone else, it's cringing.
Absolutely. And right there, you knock yourself off of balance, and there is no harmony in sight. It's just this big sabotage, critical, judgy thing.
It's you're in the mud with your wellies on and you're stuck.
Yep.
And nobody would want to be around you because you're so down.
That's right. Down, stuck and sinking. Because, and so the key piece here is, if that's what's going on, if you start beating yourself up, I like to say to people to press pause for a moment and check in. Would I speak to another human being like this? And most often it's no.
I was just going to say no.
Unless you're a big meanie.
You're a horrible person. The thing is,
so then just to finish that.
Go.
I was just to finish that thought is to just reframe it and remind yourself you are a person too, and you deserve your respect. So you need to fire some of those critical whiny, judgy voices in your head?
Well, you're right. And what I was going to say was, when you hear yourself say that, I encourage them to say them aloud.
Yes.
So if you say you're not going to amount to anything, you're just a big fat lazy, and we don't even think that you're denying you've never said them to people. So people get real, be realistic. So when you hear yourself say that, I would love you to say it aloud outside your head, because as soon as you say it aloud, you'll go, whoa, that's yuck. Because even though we repeat it in our head and it's yuck, if you hear yourself say it with your voice, it's yuck in capitals. And then you'll instantly, that will be a change of state, change of pattern, break wherever you're at, to just go, whoa, back it up. Let's just start replacing that and repeat it aloud instead of just in your head. And who cares if people think you're a weirdo, because people already think you're a weirdo. If you're on the bus and you're repeating certain things in public, not that I go on public transport much, but if you feel you're doing that, then just put headphones in and pretend that you're repeating something. If you're really concerned about what people think about you.
Yeah, you could just pretend you got your phone, just talking to your phone. But I love that you said that, because I think that there's one more piece that you can do after that. So you say out loud, you're fat, you're a loser, you'll never amount to anything.
Yeah.
So saying it out loud out of your mouth allows you to be the witness to it, to actually really see it. But you can also then say, who said that? Because
is it the truth or not? Is this one of those stupid stories that who said that?
I inherit it? Was that a teacher or a parent or an abusive person that said that, and then I just took over?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the two-part thing is that, like Deb just said, is the say it out loud, say those critical things out loud. But then the second part is, who said it?
Yeah.
Once you say who, we're excited about this helping people create balance and harmony.
I feel my number 4 is already shifting up, just for the record. But even though we've said stop saying that stuff to yourself, it's not going to damage you again by repeating it once outside your head. So don't think, oh my God, Deborah and Moira said you can't say it, and now they want me to say it outside my head. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's not going to quote fingers in the air, damage. What are they quotations? I say fingers in the air.
Air quotes.
Air quotes. It's not going to damage you by saying it again aloud. It's not going to cement in anymore. You're just going to hear it differently. And this is where your neuro-linguistic programming is going to go on to go, oh, wow, listen to that. And then it goes back to that. Who said that? Where did that come from? Where did that bit of fluff stick to me? Where is that dirt?
Exactly. It's a wee bit like doing some house cleaning in your mind, like you're going to get rid of it. And so, no, you're quite right. Saying it out loud is actually honoring and being responsible and honest with yourself. It is not creating more of it, because let's face it, if you don't say it out loud, it's there, it's in your vibrational energy bubble, and it's just going la 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 la, right? So it's really funny. I did a presentation many years ago to a group of business women, and I was telling them to do something very similar about speaking out all of their fears about, oh my God, what if my clients don't pay, and what if I don't get enough clients, and what if my business fails? And there's this woman got incensed with me. She stood up and said, how dare you make us speak what we do not want to create? And I said to her, well, are you thinking any of these things? And she says, yes, but law of attraction says I get what I speak out. And I said, no, law of attraction says you get what you vibrate. And so if you're sitting thinking any of these things or feeling any of these things, that is what your vibration is. So for me, to create harmony and balance, it means you have a very honest approach to yourself. You admit everything that you're saying and thinking internally. It's the only way to release it.
I think with regards to that woman you were talking about, like, I feel for her because she's obviously been so programmed that you cannot do that.
Mm-hmm.
So she would be in such definitely mental turmoil, but her physical turmoil would be insane because she's looking at people going, I'm better than you, but she can't say it.
That's
or
right.
You're useless and I can't say it. And so she's got all that inside turmoil going on, that she's not walking her talk, she's not being authentic, she's not speaking her mind, she's keeping that inside, which is like, like barbed wire inside you. It's just coiled over and caught, trapped. Yep. And that, like, the poor woman to think like that. So well done for her for speaking out and saying that, because it's bloody ridiculous. But well done for her for speaking up and saying it, because she's obviously in a great amount of pain to actually, because you're only really in pain, emotional pain, when you speak up, when you go, I've had enough. So she must have been going, there is no way I'm going to do that. For the last 10 years or 20 years, I've been training my brain not to think like that, because you can't get away from negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are always going to be there. Like, you can't throw it away. They just come in, and they come in at the most unexpected time when you think you're fine, and then suddenly a negative thought comes in. But it's how to handle that. And if you're not wise enough to handle that, you're not going to create that harmony and balance.
That's right. That's right. And so, that makes me think of I think it was a meme that I shared on Facebook a while ago. It's about the idea of being the vessel that experiences something. So if you were having some negative feeling or negative thought, you can then be the object or the being that experiences it, and it flows through you.
Yeah.
But if you resist it or you pretend it's not there, that's even worse. If you pretend it sticks. And then other things stick to it too, right?
More things bloom and stick to it.
Yeah.
And it all comes back to that acknowledging and aware, going, oh, that negative thought comes in. I don't have time to deal with it right now because I'm about to go into a meeting, or I'm about to go and, do whatever. So I'm aware of it. And you say to your mind, can we just park this and I'll come back and talk to you about this? I'll work on this over the next day or so, or don't even have to put a time frame, but you've acknowledged it. So that's your first step of healing and nurturing to yourself, of creating harmony and balance, because you've acknowledged it.
Yep.
Then you can carry on, and then you can go back and do it. But you must go back and deal with whatever it is, because if you don't, it's going to go, hey, you said you were coming back. You never came back.
Yep.
Now I'm going to give you another warning, but it's going to be bigger. And if you don't deal with me, I'm actually going to go full frontal, full on.
Full on. Yeah,
full
absolutely.
On.
Yeah.
And so just acknowledging it, if you don't have the time, although we always have the time, but if you are about to go on stage, or you're going to go into a meeting and it's just not convenient for you emotionally or something, then it's okay to park it. But acknowledge it, because then you've given yourself and you've fed your soul that it's okay, I'm going to come back to you.
Exactly.
And that's the real important part about creating harmony and balance.
Absolutely. It's to acknowledge and give yourself the right to have that feeling, or have that mindset, or that idea, or that conversation in your mind. You have the right that it has the right to express itself through you too. But remember, it's expressing through you, not to you.
Yeah, that's important.
It is, isn't it? And so it's to take the space of being someone who's interested. Of, oh, look, that thought happened, and now I feel like this. Okay, now I need to unpack that and visit it, or release it, or ask it, what are you here to show me or teach me? Yeah,
and just like, I'm just going to reiterate, I know I said it recently about a client who just said, oh, that takes too much time to deal with. I'm like, whether it takes a 30 seconds, a minute, it's just like drinking water or eating something or nourishing your body with something or going to sleep at night or any of those things.
Taking a
Yes,
deep
things
breath.
take time, but it's actually, it's all part of you. It's all part of healing you and evolving you and moving you up to the next thing. So yes, it may take time, and it may take a minute, or it may take 5, or it may take, but really, are you worth that time? Are you worth an hour of your time, or are you not? Because if you're not, then please reach out to Moira or I, because you'll clearly be beyond the 10 and it's time, and you're probably actually really hating this call, but too bad. But you must take time and nourish yourself, hand on your heart, breathe through your nose, in your nose, in your nose,
in your nose and out of your mouth. Absolutely.
And just take that time, because we want to reignite that fire within you and give you something that's fulfilling. And just know that whether it takes a short amount of time or a long amount of time, it's just called time, and you have to the rest of your life to deal with things.
Absolutely. And the thing too, and to your point, that if you don't deal with something in the moment, or you don't always have the capacity to deal with it in the moment, but if you don't deal with things as they come up, so you can maybe park something that you need to explore in your journal, or something you need to speak out later after your presentation or your meeting or whatever it is that you have right in front of you. But when you say things like, oh, I don't have enough time, you're actually saying right there, you're saying to yourself that I'm not worth it. I am not worth me putting myself on that top of that list, or, carving out a wee bit of time just to sit and contemplate and flush out what I need to let go of. So that is the biggest and most heavy form of betrayal, is to deny yourself your own respect.
You're honoring yourself. You're honoring your own body, your soul, your physical body, but not only your physical body, your mental stimulation and everything around you. And it's going to get worse if you do not deal with it. So we know with creating harmony and balance how you can actually achieve a lot more. And I guess that's the other thing is, when you think about, well, if you create harmony and balance, you think, oh, I'm not going to achieve, I'm not going to be as fast and as productive as I used to be if I get more harmonious and more balanced in my life. Actually, you will, but it'll be more fulfilling, and it'll come from within, and it'll feed your soul more, that you'll actually achieve way more than you've ever done when you're in that centered and neutral, harmonious and balanced state.
It's absolutely true. And because the other part of all of this is that when we really step into that and find our sense, our definition of what that harmony and balance is, then you will find that you get more success, more productivity with doing less. Because when you operate in harmony and in balance, then you get to be a co-creator with the universe, rather than you having to do absolutely everything. It's not about that. This is about you experiencing yourself as, like I said at the beginning, is you're a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual being. And you need to fill your cup on all 4 of those parts.
On all of them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you are important. You're important to not only your life, but others around you. You play a vital role on so many people's lives. You may, if you're really in that down near the 10, you may feel I'm not doing anything for anybody. I'm not worthy of this, and people don't love me or anything. You do play a vital role in every person's life who you connect with.
Absolutely.
So remember that, and just remember that you are an important person on this globe.
On this globe, we each have our own unique gift and our own piece that we bring, and that is our responsibility, is to bring that into the game. I call this a game of life. We're supposed to be having fun after all,
Yeah, roll the dice. Roll the dice.
Roll the dice.
I get double?
This has been a really good harmonious and balancing conversation. I really enjoyed this.
Lovely.
On it, so let's check back in now on this scale of 0 to 10 that we did at the beginning. And Deb and I were both at a 4. Where would you say you are now, Deb?
I would definitely say a 2. Maybe I'm going to actually say a 1.5 because even though I know, I'm going to say 1.5 because even though I know I've got a million things to do, over-realization, realistic, clearly not a million things, more a million and one, it's actually okay. It's okay. And if I want to sit down and eat the pizza, the pasta, which I'm not because it's breakfast time for me, if I wanted to, it's okay.
Good.
That's it. I'm going to say a 1.5. Actually, I'm going to say 1.75 because it keeps flicking between the 1.5. 1.75 for me.
You're funny. I'm going to put myself at a 2. And actually, it's really funny because you said at the beginning you were going to signal to me what you're at, and I was going to signal to you that I was at a 2.
Well, I keep going 2, 1.5, 2, 1.5, and
so it's your 175.
Yeah. So that's where I was like, actually, just 1.75. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
That is funny. So, this has been a great conversation, and we would love to hear from our dear listeners. What did this do for you? Did this help you come closer to a 0? And what does harmony and balance feel like, and what's the definitions for you?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Moira. Thank you, listeners. I appreciate today. It definitely shifted me up awesome. The levels. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, dear listeners. Thank you, Debz. See you on the next one. Bye.